Greetings dear students. I am Vinita Garg, HOD Computer Science from SRDAV Public School, Dhyan Vihar, Delhi. Another academic year is coming to a close and examinations are around the corner. It is very important to know your examination pattern in and out. If you see last year's board exam papers, you will find that there is a fixed pattern around which the CBSE revolves. A first-hand knowledge of the type of questions which may be asked in the exam will not only help you to stay calm but also help you to answer the questions with concentration. Here are some basic, not short tips to help you crack CBSE exam for computer science. There are three sections in the computer science board exam paper. Section A is for C++ students, Section B is for Python students, and Section C is compulsory for all students. C++ students will attempt Sections A and C only. Section A has 4 questions. Question 1 contains general questions of the types header files, error questions, output questions, and random numbers. It has 6 parts from A to F and is of 12 marks. Question 2 is based on the topics object-oriented programming concepts, classes and objects, constructors and destructors, function overloading, and inheritance. It has 4 parts from A to D and is of 12 marks. Question 3 is based on the topic data structures. It has 5 parts from A to E and is of 14 marks. Question 4 is based on the topic files. It has 3 parts from A to C and is of 6 marks. Let us discuss in detail different parts of first question. Question 1A is based on class 11 syllabus and is of 2 marks. For this question, you are supposed to revise the following topics: tokens and its parts, keywords, identifiers, literals, and operators. Data types like fundamental or simple, derived or compound, and user-defined. Access modifiers like constant, and type modifiers like signed, unsigned, and long. Operators like arithmetic, relational, logical, assignment, and conditional. Error types like syntax, runtime, and logical. Control structures, selection statement, which includes both if-else and switch case. Iterative and logical statements, which includes for, while, and do while. Please revise what are entry and exit control loops and break and continue statements. Under the topic functions, you need to learn what is the need of functions, function prototype, actual and formal parameters, call by value and reference, and default arguments. Please revise inbuilt functions. Revise all the escape sequences like /n, /t, and /b. Typecasting, which can be of 2 types, implicit and explicit. Apart from this, you need to revise what are single line and multi-line comments, local and global variables, reference variables, typedef statements, macros, indentation, and naming convention rules for variables, constants, or functions. Question number 1, part B, is of 1 mark. In this question, a program segment or code is given and students are expected to write the names of the header files required to successfully compile and execute the given code. Half mark is awarded for writing each correct header file. Question number 1, part C, is of 2 marks. It is an error question in which a program segment or code is given and student is expected to rewrite the code after removing all syntax errors. Please remember to underline all the corrections made. Only 1 mark will be awarded if errors are identified but not corrected. Also, Make sure that you find 4 errors, as each error correction will be of half marks. Question number 1, part D and E are output questions. They are of marks 2 and 3 each. You can also get questions based on pointers. Partial marking is given for partially correct output. While answering this question, please take care of all new line characters. Question number 1, part F, is of 2 marks. It is based on the concept of random number generation. Student is expected to choose the options from the given options 1 to 4. Please take care that no marks will be awarded if extra options are mentioned. You are also expected to write the maximum and minimum value generated by the random function. Now let's discuss in detail different parts of second question. Question number 2, part A, is a short answer question of 2 marks. It is based on any of the concepts which are mentioned here. It is advised that you should explain the concept mentioned in the question along with proper example. Any suitable example demonstrating the concept is equally awarded. Question number 2, part B, is of 2 marks. It is generally based on the concept of constructors and destructors. Usually, a program code is given and there are 2 parts. In the first part, you are expected to identify the OOPS concept which is being illustrated in the code. The second part is based on the execution of the program code. Kindly revise all 3 types of constructors: constructor overloading, destructor, and constructor and destructor invocation to answer this question. Question number 2, part C, is of 4 marks. In this question, definition of class is required to be written according to the given specifications. Specifications include private members such as data members and one member function, and public members as 2 member functions. Half mark is given for writing correct syntax for class header, half mark for correct declaration of data members, 1 mark for correct definition of private member functions, and 1 mark for correct definition of public member function with proper invocation of private member functions. 1 mark is assigned for correct definition of second member function. Please note that half mark will be deducted if private member function is not invoked properly inside public member function. Sometimes half mark is kept for correctly ending the class declaration with a semicolon. No marks are deducted if any, but all the member functions are defined inside or outside the class. Question number 2, part D, is of 4 marks. Usually this question is either based on inheritance or function overloading. If we see last 2-3 years board papers, a question on inheritance is coming. This question again has 4 parts of 1 mark each. You are advised to rewrite the child classes after derivation to answer this question. Part 1 is based on identifying the type of inheritance. Please see the relationship among the base and child class carefully to answer this part. Part 2 is based on identifying data members which are directly accessible by the member functions of the derived class. Please see that private, protected, and public data members of a newly derived class are accessible by the member functions. Please note that no marks are awarded for any partial answer in this case. Part 3 is based on identifying member functions which are directly accessible by the object of the derived class. Only public member functions of the newly derived child class are accessible by the object. Please note that no marks are awarded for any partial answer in this case. For answering part 2 and part 3, constructor and destructor functions are always ignored. Part 4 is based on the order of execution of the constructors. Please note that constructor of base class is always called first and then the constructor of the child class. In the case of destructors, Destructor of a child class is always called first and then the destructor of the base class. Question 3 is based on data structures. It has 5 parts from A to E and is of marks 14. Question number 3, part A, is of 2 marks and is usually based on arrays. Please read this question carefully. Don't get scared if you don't fully understand the logic. This question has partial marking. Usually, half mark is assigned to writing the loop correctly, half mark for correctly checking the condition, and 1 mark for correctly assigning the required values. So please try to answer whatever you know. Question number 3, part B, is of 3 marks and is based on address calculation of 2D array elements. This question also has partial marking. 1 mark is assigned for writing correct formula or substituting formula with correct values. 1 mark for correct calculation and 1 mark for final correct address. Question number 3, part C, is of 4 marks and is based on writing function to perform insert or delete operation on static or dynamic stack or queue. It can also be based on circular queue. You are advised to revise this topic thoroughly. This question has partial marking and each step has marks. Question number 3, part D, is of 3 marks and is based on 2D arrays. Please read this question carefully. Don't get scared if you don't fully understand the logic. This question again has partial marking. So please try to answer whatever you know. Question number 3, part E, is of 2 marks and is based on the conversion of infix to postfix operation or evaluation of postfix operation. This question again has partial marking. Half mark is awarded for correctly converting with each operator. Please note that 1 mark will be awarded if only the final answer is written without showing the stack content on each step. Question number 4 is based on the topic files in C++. It has 3 parts from A to C and is of 6 marks. Question number 4, part A, is of 2 marks and is based on text files. This question has partial marking. Half mark is allotted for opening the file correctly, half mark for reading from the file, half mark for checking the condition, and half mark for display statement. Don't forget to use strcmp function if you are comparing two words or strings, and also use strcmpi function if you think you need to ignore case while comparing two strings. Question number 4, part B, is of 3 marks and is based on binary file. This question again has partial marking. 1 mark is allotted for opening the file correctly, half mark for reading from the file, half mark for checking condition, and 1 mark for displaying the desired record correctly. Question number 4, part C, is of 1 mark and is based on file pointers. Either it is an output question or a question based on writing file pointer statements. Please note that del G, del P gives the position of get or put pointers in terms of number of bytes, and CG, CP is used to place the get or put pointer at a particular position. The byte numbering in the file always starts from 0. Now let's come to question number 5, which is based on the topic databases and SQL. It has 2 parts from A and B and is of 8 marks. Question number 5, part A, is of 2 marks and is based on the database concepts. You need to revise the following concepts to attempt this question, like domain, tuple, relation, primary key, candidate key, alternate key, selection, projection, union, Cartesian product, advantages of using SQL, and DDL and DL. Question number 5, part B, is of 6 marks and has parts from 1 to 8. In parts 1 to 4, SQL queries need to be written and they are of 1 mark each. Partial marking is also done for SQL queries. Half mark for correct select and half mark for correct where clause. Part 5 to 8 are output for SQL queries based on given tables and are of half mark each. Question number 6 is based on the topic Boolean algebra. It has 4 parts from A to T and is of 8 marks. Question number 6, part A, is of 2 marks and is based on the laws of Boolean algebra. Either you will be asked to verify a law or you will be asked to verify the given expression using Boolean laws. You need to revise the following laws to attempt this question: commutative law, associative law, distributive law, identity law, inverse law, idempotent law, absorption law, involution law, De Morgan's law, principle of duality, and closure property. Question number 6, part B, is of 2 marks and is based on the logic circuit diagram. You will be asked either to draw the logic circuit diagram for the given Boolean expression, or a logic circuit diagram will be given to you and you will be asked to write the corresponding Boolean expression. This question also has partial marking. You can also be asked a question based on NAND and NOR gates. Question number 6C is of 1 mark and is based on obtaining SOP or POS expression from the truth table. Partial marks will be given for writing few correct terms. Half mark will be deducted if wrong variable names are used. So please be careful. Question number 6, part D, is of 3 marks and is based on reducing the Boolean expression using K-map. The marks distribution for this question will be half mark for drawing K-map with correct variable names. Be careful while drawing the K-map. It should match the corresponding truth table. Half mark for each groupings. Half mark for writing final expression in reduced or minimum form. And note that half mark will be deducted if wrong variable names are written in the expression. Question number 7 is based on the topic Communication Technologies. It has 7 parts from A to G and is of 10 marks. Parts A to F are of 1 mark each. You are advised to understand all the terms along with examples given in the CBSE syllabus under the topic Communication Technologies. Question number 7, part G, is of 4 marks and has 4 subparts. The first part in this question usually is asked on the location of the server to get the best and effective connectivity. You can choose the location with maximum number of computers or the one which is closest to all other locations. In part 2, the best wired medium is asked and you have to draw the cable layout to effectively connect various locations. The best wired medium is optical fiber, and to draw the cable layout you can use star topology and connect the location with maximum number of computers or the one which is closest to all other locations to all other locations. Also remember, the cheapest wired medium is twisted pair cable. In part 3, you will be asked to suggest hardware device to connect all computers within each location. Please remember that switch or hub are the required hardware devices. Part 4 is based on general concepts. Now it's time to give some important tips at the examination hall. Don't waste the 15 minutes reading time. Please read the question paper thoroughly during this time. Always start with the questions which you are more confident writing at and try to answer all parts of a question together. Write up to the mark. Don't leave any question. Most of the questions have partial marking. After completing the paper, please check your answer sheet thoroughly. Give your best without worrying about your results.
So dear students, practice hard, stay cool and optimistic, and follow these tips to deliver your best. Good luck everyone.